right, Benchwarmers, it is Riding the Pine, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory right here on Dry River Radio. Hello, everyone. Glad to have you along. It is Joey Deans flying solo again today. I wasn't planning on flying solo, actually. I just forgot what day it was, to be honest with you. And then all of a sudden I realized I hadn't talked to Steve or Rob at all. And nobody had talked to me, as we've had a couple of days off of Garden City Wind baseball. So it's been nice. I actually have gotten some sleep, a little bit of rest, much needed after those long stretches of wind baseball, and feel refreshed now, ready to go tomorrow for the Mountain North Championship Series, the Divisional Championship Series, as Garden City will take on the North Platte 80s. North Platte with the sweep of Blackwell, a walk-off last night for the 80s. So they defeat the Blackwell Flycatchers and move on to the next round. They will face Garden City here in this round. So it's gonna be a fun series. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it, and hopefully a lot of people show up and we pack the light for the playoffs. Here in 2025. Garden City, the number one overall seed, so everything going to go through Garden City moving forward. So that's excellent stuff. My cable freaking me out as it was touching my leg, the cable for my headphones. I thought it was a bug or something. Freaked me out. But either way, Garden City sitting pretty right now. They will host North Platte starting tomorrow, 6:35 first pitch from the light. We'll take the air here on Dry River Radio somewhere around 6:05-ish for the Builders First Source pregame show. On the other side of things, Pecos swept Alpine. Didn't see that coming. I thought Alpine at least would take it to Game 3, but the Pecos Bills take care of business. It is a sweep. And so they will travel to face Tucson starting tomorrow. And then out in the Pacific, Dublin upended Bakersfield, and San Rafael defeated Martinez in the first round. And then last night, San Rafael 9-0 winners over Dublin in the Pacific Division Championship Series. So we'll see here in the next 2 days who's going to move on out of the Pacific and face one of the teams in the Mountain, and they'll have about a week or so to just kind of chill and get rested up before they play somebody here in the Mountain, and they'll have to travel to the Mountain, as both Tucson and Garden City both had the better records. So it's probably going to be one of those two, Tucson or Garden City, I imagine. I'm not looking past North Platte, though. North Platte scares the crap out of me. Because they've got a chip on their shoulder. They want to beat Garden City. They want it to be a rivalry. Garden City's got Trinidad as a rival, but North Platte desperately wants to be the main rival of Garden City, and it's going to be a battle. They're going to throw everything they've got against the wind, and hopefully the boys are ready. Hopefully they're rested and ready to go. Because if they come out flat-footed, North Platte's going to knock them in the mouth. And you can't afford to go down and lose Game 1. Then you got your back against the wall. You got to win the next 2. It can be done, but it's not a good strategy. You'd rather win Game 1 and feel pretty good about your odds going into the next 2 games. And 3-game series is tough. It becomes anybody's series, and we've seen the last couple of years teams like Trinidad take Garden City to the brink. So hopefully the Wind can just show up, show out tomorrow, and take care of Game 1 and take care of Game 2 on Sunday, and then await the winner of Tucson and Pecos come Tuesday. But it's going to be definitely interesting because North Platte, they're battle tested. They fought back from 3-0 down yesterday against Blackwell, so they're not a team to take lightly, that is for certain, and that's a team that definitely scares me moving forward. So the Pecos League playoffs underway. I can't believe we're here at the playoffs already. It's crazy that the Pecos League playoffs are here. Just one game today in the Pecos League, as Dublin will be at San Rafael. Game 2 of that 3-game series. We'll see if San Rafael can close out that series today And then if they do, they're Pacific Division champions, and they'll move on to the Pecos League Championship sometime next week. Is when that'll all go down next weekend, I guess, as we go into this weekend. So, yeah, it's going to be over before we know it, and hopefully not for another week and a half for Garden City. Hopefully they extend this out a little bit, but it's going to be tough. This is they've never gotten past the Mountain Division Championship Series. They've never gotten to that Pecos League Championship Series. So the history is not on the side of the Garden City Wind, but hopefully this team is built different. I think a lot of guys learned lessons last year in the losses to Alpine at the end of the year. To get to that point and then fall short, that sticks with you. And there's a lot of guys on this team that were on last year's team. So, and you got the same manager, same staff, minus Kyle Adkins. So, you got that same group that went through it last year, and they remember how it felt. They want somebody else to feel that way instead of them this time. So hopefully they can get past North Platte, though. Like I said, North Platte kind of scares me, and they're playing very good baseball right now. They drubbed Blackwell in the first game 20-10, and then they squeaked by. They fought back. The crowds were good in North Platte, the two games that they had there. So they're getting community support finally up there, which is great to see moving forward with the 80s. And Blackwell's gotten some community support. Iola's been supporting Kansas City team a little bit, and it looks like the Warmigas will be in Iola next year. So it looks good. Looks like some of these newer teams are getting established in their communities, and so that's great to see. After seeing Colorado Springs not gain any traction, Salina, other places like that, where you kind of scratch your head like, how did that not work out? Then there's a lot of factors that go into all of that, but it's good to see it working out in North Platte and Blackwell and Iola, and it's great for Garden City because those drives are relatively short compared to driving to Santa Fe and Roswell and freaking Alpine. I'd much rather go to Blackwell, to tell you the truth. There's not much in Blackwell, but they're not far from Stillwater, which has a Whataburger. So I'm all about that. And North Platte has Jersey Mike's. So yeah, I'm good there. I'm good with that. Iola's got a really nice Dairy Queen. I really like their Dairy Queen there. But yeah. Pecos League playoffs, man. Anything can happen. That's the scary part when you're the number one overall seed is the realization that these are 3-game series. You can't have a day where you have an off day or 2 off days. If you go down 0-1, you have to win the next 2. And that's the dangerous part of these short series is there's no real margin for error. So Garden City is going to have to come out swinging. They're going to have to come out with the bats rolling the way they were the last few days at the end of the regular season. They need that. Have some pop, have hits in clusters. That's what they've done well. And so this team has been very, very impressive this season. They set multiple records, both personal records as well as team records. And I was just pulling those up here. If I can find it somewhere. I know where to find it. But either way, plenty of records broken for the Wind as they've... There we go. They've been impressive this year. Individual records, Jason Rooks sets the slugging percentage record at .842, OPS at 1.378, home runs at 18, RBI at 88. Jacob Talamonte sets the runs record at 72. Team records, 44 and 7. Both those are records. Hitting, they set the record for walks at 423, on base percentage at 475. Fielding percentage at 975, fewest errors at 35. Pitching, given up the fewest runs in history, 224, earned runs 186, hits 371, wild pitches 52, and the lowest ERA in win history at 3.88. So this has been a historic season for both individuals and for the team. Crazy cool that this team has had that many records set this year, year after setting a whole bunch more records. It's funny to look. I've got a spreadsheet that has all the records. Has year by year, this is what each team, and then the record year is in red. And there's so much red in the last 2-year columns, 2024, 2025. It's seriously impressive to look at. So Garden City is rolling right now, and they will take on North Platte tomorrow. The Kansas City Royals made a bunch of moves, a lot more moves than I realized that they were going to make. Some additions that surprised some people. I'm impressed by some of the additions that the Royals were able to make. So it's going to be fun down the stretch. We'll talk more about the Royals here in just a moment. First, we'll take a break, look at your Pecos League recap, and come back in just a moment. This is Riding the Pine, presented by Graph Inc. Graph Inc. is your printing solution nationwide and the only place I do my printing business. Hello, everyone. It's me, Joey. When I need business cards, flyers, banners, or even just graphic design, I call on my friends at Graph Inc. They can print you pretty much anything and have it arrive at your door in short order. Scale tickets, carbon sheets, or whatever you need printed. The professionals at Graph Inc. will make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. They're a 24/7 printer too, so don't worry if it's 7 p.m. on a Friday. They will still make sure you're taken care of. Find them online at gigc.us. The only place I trust for my printing needs is Graph Inc. When you need shirts, screen printing, vinyl, sublimation, decals, or direct-to-film prints, you should always shop local. That's where the Shirt Shack comes in. Give them a call at 785-250-2479 and get your merch, team shirts, or logos printed off by the professionals at the Shirt Shack. It's even as easy as communicating through email. You can message them at shirtshackprinting@gmail.com. That's shirtshackprinting@gmail.com. Get off Amazon and support a local business. Contact the Shirt Shack today. If you need a place to cash your paycheck or are looking for a little extra cash, stop by AAA Pawn and Armory. AAA Pawn and Armory has a wide selection of slightly used items such as TVs, guitars, golf clubs, tools, jewelry, and more. They also have a large inventory of rifles, shotguns, and handguns, as well as ammo in stock. So whether you are looking for your next firearm, TV, or other item, or you just need to cash a check or pawn something for a little extra money, don't go anywhere but AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas Avenue in Garden City.
It's time to get excited, Garden City Wind fans. Come join the team as they walk off into the playoffs as the #1 overall seed. Playoffs at Clint Lightner start this Saturday at 6:35 against either North Platte or Blackwell. Get your tickets now at GardenCityWind.com or at the gate on Saturday. Hear every game for free on Dry River Radio or watch and listen at PecosLeague.tv. Join the Wind in capping off a historic 2025 season. Starting Saturday, bring the noise.
And with a Pecos League recap for games played July 31st, I'm your host, Joey Dean. We start in Texas, Game 3 of the wild card round in the Mountain South. Top of the first inning, Peter Jelenik with his solo home run on the first pitch of the game makes it 1-0 in favor of Pecos. The Bills would score 7 runs in the first inning. Bottom of the second inning, John Tuttle with a 2-run home run makes it 7-2 in favor of Pecos. Top of the third, Wyatt Morgan gets that back and then some. A 3-run home run makes it 11-2 in favor of the Bills. Top of the seventh, Morgan at it again, adding some insurance runs, much needed insurance runs, as he hits this 2-run homer, makes it 13-5. Pecos would go on to win it 16-12. They advance to play Tucson in the next round. Next we go to Nebraska, North Platte hosting Blackwell, Game 3 of this series. Top of the first, Dawson Wedeking with a 2-run single makes it 2-0 in favor of Blackwell. It would be a pitcher's duel for most of the game. We get to the bottom of the 8th. Caleb Copeland at the plate ties the ball game with an RBI single. And then in the bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, full count, 2 outs. Ryan Lutinsky with the RBI single gives North Platte the walk-off victory by a score of 4-3. North Platte advances to play Garden City in the next round. Next we go to California, the Pacific Division Championship Series, Dublin at San Rafael. Bottom of the first, Aki Buxton, a solo home run, makes it 1-0 in favor of the Pacifics. Bottom of the second inning, John Bicos with a 2-run home run. Suddenly it's 5-0 in favor of San Rafael. The very next batter, Chris Wright, he hits a solo home run, making it 6-0 Pacifics. Bottom of the fourth inning, Kyle Guerra with a solo home run, makes it 7-0 San Rafael. And then in the bottom of the fifth inning, Jorge Lopez Rios with a solo home run, making it 8-0. San Rafael powers their way to a 9-0 victory over Dublin in Game 1 of this series. Join us again next time for another Pecos League recap.
It's time to get excited, Garden City Wind fans. Come join the team as they walk off into the playoffs as the #1 overall seed. Playoffs at Clint Lightner start this Saturday at 6:35 against either North Platte or Blackwell. Get your tickets now at GardenCityWind.com or at the gate on Saturday. Hear every game for free on Dry River Radio or watch and listen at PecosLeague.tv. Join the Wind in capping off a historic 2025 season. Starting Saturday, bring the noise.
Graph Inc. is your printing solution nationwide and the only place I do my printing business. Hello everyone, it's me, Joey Dean. When I need business cards, flyers, banners, or even just graphic design, I call my friends at Graph Inc. They can print you pretty much anything and have it arrive at your door in short order. Scale tickets, carbon sheets, or whatever you need printed. The professionals at Graph Inc. will make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. They're a 24/7 printer too, so don't worry if it's 7 p.m. on a Friday. They will still make sure you're taken care of. Find them online at gigc.us. The only place I trust for my printing needs is Graph Inc. When you need shirts, screen printing, vinyl, sublimation, decals, or direct-to-film prints, you should always shop local. That's where the Shirt Shack comes in. Give them a call at 785-250-2479 and get your merch, team shirts, or logos printed off by the professionals at the Shirt Shack. It's even as easy as communicating through email. You can message them at shirtshackprinting@gmail.com. That's shirtshackprinting@gmail.com. Get off Amazon and support a local business. Contact the Shirt Shack today.
If you need a place to cash your paycheck or are looking for a little extra cash, stop by AAA Pawn and Armory. AAA Pawn and Armory has a wide selection of slightly used items such as TVs, guitars, golf clubs, tools, jewelry, and more. They also have a large inventory of rifles, shotguns, and handguns, as well as ammo in stock. So whether you are looking for your next firearm, TV, or other item, or you just need to cash a check or pawn something for a little extra money, don't go anywhere but AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas Avenue in Garden City.
Welcome back, bench warmers. It is Riding the Pine here on a Friday. Joey Dean with you here on Dry River Radio, Facebook Live. Thank you to all of you watching on Facebook Live as well. Yeah, we were talking about the Kansas City Royals and the moves that they have made, as they've made quite a few here the last few days. A lot more than I expected out of the Royals, to be honest with you. But I'm down with everything they've done. Here's what the Royals acquired prior to yesterday's trade deadline. Adam Frazier, utility man. Randall Grichuk, outfielder. Ryan Bergert, right-handed pitcher Stephen Kolek, left-handed pitcher Bailey Falter, and outfielder Mike Yastrzemski. Here's the thing, the Yastrzemski trade doesn't look like much on the surface until you realize that he's got a WAR of 2, and currently the outfield for the Kansas City Royals has a collective WAR of -2. It's negative 2.1 or something like that. It's not good. 231 and 8 home runs is not big numbers from your outfielder, but it's better than what anybody else has right now in that outfield. I went on and on last week about how they needed to add some outfield depth, and adding Yastrzemski, adding Grichuk, those are moves that aren't huge, but it makes this team better, incrementally better, but better. They didn't need to be light years better to get into this playoff conversation. They just needed to be incrementally better. And they get their pitching staff a little better as well. And all you lose out of all the names, Junior Marte, Calvin Moss, Evan Sisk, Andrew Hoffman, Cam Devaney, Freddie Fermin is the only big name that you lose out of the whole deal. You upgrade across the board to guys that are major league ready, which is what they needed to do. You move a lot of minor league pieces. And Freddie Fermin, who, let's be honest, Jensen is the heir apparent for the Royals behind the dish. It was going to be Fermin, but he does not hit good enough to replace Salvador Perez in the next couple of years. Jensen's going to be the guy. And he'll be called up here in September. At the latest, he'll be called up in September. So Freddie Fermin was not going to have a place on this team other than a backup role and maybe third, fourth catcher at that. So moving Fermin, a lot of people were upset about it because they liked him, and I get it. But this was a good baseball move by the Royals because Freddie was not going to be the starter of the future for the Kansas City Royals, and they knew that. And they knew, he could play elsewhere so he can get us something in return. We can move him now and get something back instead of just holding on to him and waiting until he becomes a free agent, then he walks away and you get nothing. It was a very, very good baseball move by the Royals to make that trade. And there are so many people that were upset about it. I don't get why. You get so attached to these players. This is not the 60s. This is not the 70s, where guys spent their entire careers with one team. The Royals have been spoiled because they've had Alex Gordon, they've had Salvador Perez, George Brett, some big names that have stayed with them the entirety of their careers. But the reality is, if you remember back when they lost Hosmer, Kane, and Moustakas, boom, 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 they brought Moustakas back. Out of all of them, that's the one they brought back. But that's the reality of baseball. You're not going to hold on to the guys long term. And in some cases, you have guys that are better than what you have that are coming up in the minors. And you realize, I got to give this guy a shot somewhere else. Mainly because if I move him, I can get something back out of it. You're not necessarily doing it for the player. Yes, it is good for Freddie Fermin to get moved. He's going to get some opportunities. But the Royals, make no mistake, this was a baseball business move. And it was a very good one. And I think it's going to be one of those trades that pays dividends down the road because you get some young arms. I'm excited about the guys that they got back, especially Bailey Falter. Very excited about Falter. I've been a Yastrzemski fan since he came on the scene years ago. I was drafting him like every year on my fantasy team, hoping that he'd have a 30 home run season. He hasn't. And I quit drafting him, quit picking him up, even though I've always been tempted. But I'm a Yastrzemski's fan. I like Frazier. I like Adam Frazier as well. Grichuk is a good addition. You're not going to add a 30 home run guy if you're the Royals. That's not going to happen at the trade deadline. You don't got it in you. But these moves have made them better. You can have a platoon in right now with Cags down with an injury. You have options now. Hopefully this marks the end of MJ Melendez's experiment, because that experiment is awful. It has been nothing but awful. The Royals released Rich Hill. They released Kevin Biggio. They moved Chris Bubik to the 15-day DL. Sent Tyler Gentry to Omaha. Let's see, what else did they do? Designated Joey Weimer for assignment, and moved Bubik from the 15 to the 60-day DL, which stinks because he was pitching very, very well. So that stinks a little bit. They hopefully will get Cole Reagans back soon, which will be a boost to the pitching staff. But Waka and Lugo have been good. This team is sneaky good. And a lot of people were predicting that the Royals were going to win the AL Central at the beginning of the year. And that's not going to happen. You know, the Tigers got out to such a start, and they've played so well. The Royals aren't going to catch the Tigers, but they can get in as a wild card just like they did last season. And they're sneaky good. The top of their rotation is solid. Noah Cameron's pitched very well as the number 5 starter. Daniel Lynch is on a rehab assignment with Omaha. Hopefully they get him back soon. They've got some good arms, and they just upgraded their bullpen. And the thing has been the offense, and I've said it, show after show after show. The offense has been the problem, especially the outfield. Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino have been on a tear here of late. Michael Garcia has hit well. The infield's not the problem. It's been the outfield and the lack of hitting from the outfielders. And hopefully this helps. I think Cags is going to be a stud down the road. It's going to take some learning, though. I mean, look at Jackson Holiday with the Orioles. Look at Adley Rutschman. Look at most of these guys. They struggle when they get up there. They might have, a couple of weeks right out the gate that they look fantastic, but even Bobby Witt Jr. struggled for his first season. That's going to happen. There's growing pains with this. It's a process. And the Royals are experiencing that, and they're going to experience it with Jensen. They're going to experience it with some of the other guys that they've got waiting in the wings. But this is a young team, and that's a good thing. And it's a young team that's finding success early. Sneaking into the playoffs last year was huge because it got experience, playoff experience for this group, for Vinny, for Bobby. The guys that are going to be the leaders of the next wave of the Kansas City Royals. Salvador Perez is not going to be there forever. Salvador Perez has got a couple years, maybe. I mean, his body's not going to hold up forever. So the reality is, the next big playoff run, the next big divisional run from the Royals, Salvador Perez is not going to be a part of. But the wisdom he's imparted the last couple of years is going to help. And the guys who are going to be the leaders, Vinny, Bobby, those guys are going to have to lead this team. They're going to have to take the reins. They're going to have to replace Salvador Perez as the leaders of that clubhouse, as the leaders of this team. That's their job now. Salvador Perez is nothing more than just a veteran right now. He's been the face of the franchise for a long time, and people absolutely love Salvi. I love Salvi. But the reality is there's only a year, maybe 2, and Salvi will be done. That's it. And that's the window. The next 3-4 years, the Royals have a good enough team and good enough core. They should be contending for a divisional title every single year. And it's going to take guys like Witt and Pasquantino to lead the way. And so that's where having the playoff experience from last year helps. And I keep looking at this team as they were a year too soon last year. And that kind of stunted their growth a little bit at the start of this season, because they thought that they could kind of rest on their laurels a little bit, and they got kicked around. And now they're scrapping to try to get back into the playoffs. But the reality is, they didn't do enough in the offseason to address their issues offensively to be a better ball club than what they were a year ago. That's the reality. This team didn't improve in the offseason. They should have. They should have been players for a number of different guys. But they weren't. And so now they're scrambling, trying to put something together to have a playoff season for a second year in a row. And then they're going to have to make moves in the offseason. They're going to have to address these issues. MJ Melendez is no longer the answer. Nick Lofton is not the answer. These experiments have not worked. And it is time to cut bait on some of these things. You know, when you're trotting out guys that don't belong there. 4A guys. Guys that are too good for AAA, not good enough for the majors. That's what you're trotting into your outfield. Defensively, yeah. Defensively, they were solid. They can't hit the ball. And to win games, you got to score runs. It's a crazy concept, I know. But you got to. And these guys can't get on base. And nothing in their history indicates that they will or that will change. Aside from a hot streak of, 4 or 5 games here or there. You've got trotting out 210 hitters into the outfield. That's what the Royals were doing this year. Oh, well, the upside. There's not upside. We've seen MJ Melendez for a couple of years. We know who he is. And he's not good enough. And if you want to be a team that competes for a division, you have to upgrade. The Royals didn't do that in the offseason. They're trying to do it to put a Band-Aid on it right now. Realizing, hey, we screwed up. And in the offseason, they have to make moves. They have to address this situation. Because for whatever reason, they thought for a number of years, 13 to 16, they didn't need to address right field or second base. And, they'd made the World Series on their pitching. But it's a different world now. Major League Baseball is not the same as it was in 2014, 2015. And you've got to hit the ball. The same recipe you used last time, it involved a lot of luck. The Royals got damn lucky in 14 and 15. Repeatedly got lucky. Were they good? Yeah. Were they great? No. They got damn lucky. And, if not for some throwing errors and things like that against the Mets, I thought the Mets were the better team in that World Series, except for defensively. And the Royals exploited that. And I thought Harvey trotting out there for an extra inning was foolish at best. But nonetheless, the Royals, they got lucky. You get lucky in this game. Not everybody is just lights out good. The Dodgers are even have their own struggles. It is a game of averages. And it averages out sooner or later. Tucson's going to lose a game here sooner or later. It's the law of averages. That's how baseball works. And so you have to get a little bit lucky to make some of the things happen that the Royals had happen in 14 and 15. And even last year, they got lucky. And this year they're hoping to hit that again. But you've got to improve yourself. And that's what the Royals have failed to do. They failed to improve in key areas, and that's coming back to bite them. And that's why they had to make a move for a Mike Yastrzemski. That's why they had to get an Adam Frazier. That's why they had to get Randall Grichuk. Because they have to. They're putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound because they should have addressed this in the offseason. This shouldn't have been an issue. But for whatever reason, they decided not to. And everybody's, focused on where they're going to play baseball in 2030 and beyond. Who gives a shit? I care about 2025 baseball right now. I care about a division that's winnable, and you're scuffling along at 500 in a division that's very, very winnable. At the beginning of the year, you looked at this division and you're like, man, they could win that. And granted, we didn't realize that the Tigers were going to be as good as they are. But they should still be above 500. This shouldn't be lose 2 and go to 51 and 53 and then win 3 and go to 54 and 53 and then lose 2. You shouldn't be bouncing around 500. If you are a legitimate playoff team, you should be consistently above 500. The Royals haven't been that this year. Now, hopefully the new additions will help. But the offense is going to have to really pick it up. They're going to rely on their pitching, and their pitching's good enough. Even before the additions they made, the Royals' pitching's good enough to be a playoff team. It's the offense that's lagged behind. It has drugged down this pitching staff. And that's why I thought maybe they'll blow it up. Maybe they'll move Lugo. And they instead signed him to an extension. Maybe they'll move Waka, Bubik. They didn't do any of that. They became buyers at the deadline, which is fine. If you're going to go for it, freaking go for it. Let's go. But don't rely on this Band-Aid for next season. In the offseason, however this season ends, whether it ends with a World Series for the Royals or it ends not making the playoffs, however this plays out, you have to address the issues on this team. And the biggest issue is the production from the outfield offense. I will sacrifice some defense. Not a lot of defense, because defense is very, very valuable, especially in a place like Kauffman Stadium. But I will sacrifice some defense to have a hitter. You look at the Garden City Winds outfield. You've got Gold Glove, Jacob Talamonte in center field. You've got two guys, Adam Purdy and Toby Tiku, are very good defensively in left field. And you got Jason Rooks in right. And Rooks is not a great defensive guy. He's not fast. He doesn't have the greatest reads in right field. But he hit 18 home runs. That's why he's there. He does a good enough job in the outfield. I'm okay with that. I'll sacrifice a run here or a run there for 18 dingers and a 440 average. Yeah, that's a good trade. I'll take that. That's what the Royals need to find. They need to find their Jason Rooks. They need to find a guy who's going to hit 25 to 30 bombs and hit for 300, 280, somewhere in there. A decent average. If you're going to hit 210, you better hit 50 bombs. Pete Alonso, prime example of that. Hit 50 bombs, you can hit 210. But ideally, your outfield for the Royals would be guys that hit 20 to 25 home runs and all three hit 280. That would be ideal. That's a solid outfield. It's not realistic. You got to have one guy that's a base stealer, center fielder usually, and he's going to hit, 10 home runs, whatever. You're going to have a guy that hits 230, but hits 35 home runs. That's the trade-off. But that's what they're lacking because they don't have anybody. -2 is the war of the outfield. Mike Yastrzemski himself, batting .231 with 8 home runs, has a WAR of 2. Tells you how bad this outfield's been. Historically awful. So, that's what the Royals' biggest thing is. They did great at the trade deadline. I'm excited to see the rest of this season play out. I think the moves were good. And I think they're a better team now. I think they're going to be all the way to the end in the hunt for that wild card. I think they can get it, but they're going to have to play some really good baseball. But the bigger thing is, this offseason, they have to address the issues. No more trotting out, Drew Waters and Nick Lofton and MJ Melendez. None of that. Let's not do that. It is time the Royals address the outfield, make some changes, and make this a better team. It needs to happen. Love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to send me a text. 620-222-0898 is the number. 222-0898. You can shoot me a text and tell me what your thoughts are, or give us an email, driverservices@gmail.com, or just message us here on Facebook. You can do that as well. We'll take a break, come back with the picks. This is Riding the Pine, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory. Graph Inc. is your printing solution nationwide and the only place I do my printing business. Hello everyone, it's me, Joey Dean. When I need business cards, flyers, banners, or even just graphic design, I call my friends at Graph Inc. They can print you pretty much anything and have it arrive at your door in short order. Scale tickets, carbon sheets, or whatever you need printed. The professionals at Graph Inc. will make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. They're a 24/7 printer too, so don't worry if it's 7 p.m. on a Friday. They will still make sure you're taken care of. Find them online at gigc.us. The only place I trust for my printing needs is Graph Inc. When you need shirts, screen printing, vinyl, sublimation, decals, or direct-to-film prints, you should always shop local. That's where the Shirt Shack comes in. Give them a call at 785-250-2479 and get your merch, team shirts, or logos printed off by the professionals at the Shirt Shack. It's even as easy as communicating through email. You can message them at shirtshackprinting@gmail.com. That's shirtshackprinting@gmail.com. Get off Amazon and support a local business. Contact the Shirt Shack today.
It's time to get excited, Garden City Wind fans. Come join the team as they walk off into the playoffs as the #1 overall seed. Playoffs at Clint Lightner start this Saturday at 6:35 against either North Platte or Blackwell. Get your tickets now at GardenCityWind.com or at the gate on Saturday. Hear every game for free on Dry River Radio or watch and listen at PecosLeague.tv. Join the Wind in capping off a historic 2025 season. Starting Saturday, bring the noise.
If you need a place to cash your paycheck or are looking for a little extra cash, stop by AAA Pawn and Armory. AAA Pawn and Armory has a wide selection of slightly used items such as TVs, guitars, golf clubs, tools, jewelry, and more. They also have a large inventory of rifles, shotguns, and handguns, as well as ammo in stock. So whether you are looking for your next firearm, TV, or other item, or you just need to cash a check or pawn something for a little extra money, don't go anywhere but AAA Pawn and Armory, 132 West Kansas Avenue in Garden City.
Welcome back, bench warmers. Joey Dean hanging out with you. It is Riding the Pine here on a Friday. Don't forget, you can listen to Riding the Pine as a podcast. You can go to our Facebook page. It's available on all of those, like Spotify and Amazon and Apple and all those. Available as a podcast. You can search for Riding the Pine. And, of course, you can watch the playback on Facebook Live for like 30 days, and then they delete it. But you can go to the Riding the Pine Facebook page and watch past episodes and hear today's episode. If you missed anything, you can go back and watch. Or like I said, on the podcast, you can do it there as well. Podcast available all the time. You can just straight up download it, and then you have me in your pocket, which, you want this kind of wisdom to carry around, all right? You want me on your side. So then you can just bust it out like, see, this idiot said, whatever argument you're in. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. A few things before we get to the picks. Shared these on our Facebook page. Broncos reached a agreement with Cortland Sutton, wide receiver. 4 years, $92 million extension. Deion Sanders was battling bladder cancer in the offseason, had a successful surgery, and is now cancer-free, according to his physicians. So that's good news for Prime. Ryan Sandberg passed away. Man, that one hurt a little bit. I've been a Cubs fan my whole life. I grew up Dunston to Sandberg to Grace. That's how I grew up in the early 90s. And so, Harry Carey's saying that even. And, man, to lose Ryan Sandberg, Rhino, Hall of Famer, stud. I feel lucky to have seen him play. Yeah, I really do. He was fantastic. University of Kansas finishing up their renovations for now. They'll finish the renovations entirely this next offseason. But they got a championship wall in the new stadium. Has all the current state champions in football in the state of Kansas. Their helmets on display, so that's pretty cool. And then this was hilarious. Somebody commented, it may be the comment of the year already of the college football season, and we haven't even gotten started with the college football season yet. But this was a comment a couple of days ago. Congrats on your 5-star recruits and $100 million facilities, SEC fans. Meanwhile, the MAC is out here playing real football in front of 14 people and a raccoon on a Tuesday night during a blizzard. You ever seen a punter throw a touchdown to a long snapper while the scoreboard's on fire? Didn't think so. While y'all are busy arguing which frat-funded dynasty is slightly less fraudulent, Toledo's cooking up a triple reverse flea flicker in a game that ends 43-42 after 6 missed PATs and a goalpost gets stolen. That's not football. That's maction. You wouldn't survive one quarter in Ypsilanti. Fantastic. Fantastic. They do play a different brand of football in the MAC. I think, the SEC teams would survive a little bit, but it is a different brand of football, and it's fantastic, and I love it. Who says college football is dead? It's a mess still. It's going to be a mess until they get control of this NIL bullcrap, but it's good to see that people still have a sense of humor as well. Let's go to our picks for today, starting with Major League Baseball, a whole slate of games. One game currently going on, Braves and Reds, top of the 6th inning, no score between them. And that's just an early game. I was looking to see if it was a doubleheader, but it's just an early game. 2:20 start time, the Orioles and the Cubs. I'll probably have this game on. It is at Wrigley. I'm going to take the Cubs. Go Cubs, go. Tigers at Phillies, 6:45 Eastern this evening. Suarez going for the Phillies. Flaherty going for Detroit. Flaherty has not pitched that great. In fact, I just released him on my fantasy team. He's had spurts that he's still striking guys out like crazy, but he gives up 8 runs in doing it. So give me Suarez and the Phillies in this one. The Brewers at the Nationals. Quintana going for the Brewers. Parker going for Washington. Give me them Nationals with the upset. Yeah, let's go, baby. Royals at the Blue Jays. Michael Wacha going for the Royals. TBD for Toronto. I like the way Wacha's pitched this year. His record isn't great, 4-9, but his ERA is good at 3.53. Give me the Royals on the road against Toronto. The Astros at the Red Sox tonight. Brown going for the Astros. Criswell going for the Red Sox. Give me the Astros. I found it interesting that they traded for Carlos Correa yesterday. Very interesting trade. Giants at the Mets. Robbie Ray going for San Francisco. David Peterson going for the Metropolitans. Give me Robbie Ray and the lefty power, baby. It's a lefty-lefty matchup, but give me Robbie Ray, that lefty, in this one. And the Giants. The Twins at the Guardians. The Twins traded away everybody. I'm surprised they didn't trade away the naming rights to their ballpark because everybody was gone yesterday for the Twins. At the Guardians, Ryan going for the Twins, one of the few guys they didn't move. Williams going for Cleveland. Give me Cleveland in this one. The Yankees at the Marlins. Carlos Rodon going for the Yankees. Junk going for Miami. I have Rodon on my fantasy team, but how do you go against a guy whose name is Junk? Give me Junk. Yeah, let's go Marlins. The Dodgers at the Rays. Kershaw going for the Dodgers against Boz for Tampa Bay. Give me Kershaw and the Dodgers, yeah. Pirates at the Rockies. Haney going for Pittsburgh. Cincinnati going for Colorado. Man, the Pirates have been so underachieving this season, and the Rockies have been historically awful. Give me the Rockies. Give me Colorado. Let's go, Rockies. Come on now. The White Sox against the Angels. Anderson going for the Angels. TBD for the White Sox on the road against the Angels. Give me the Halos. Cardinals at Pirates. Liberatore going for the Cardinals. Pavetta going for the Padres. I think I said Pirates. I meant Padres. Give me Nick Pavetta and the Padres. I will not take the Cardinals. Screw the Cardinals. D-backs at Athletics. TBD against TBD. This may be the matchup of the day. No idea who's going to pitch. Doesn't matter. Not really. The D-backs have underachieved this year. The Athletics are about as bad as you thought they'd be. Give me the A's at home in Sacramento. And I love that it's the free game of the day. 10:05 Eastern tonight. You can download the MLB.TV app and watch that game for free. And it should be free. It should be free to attend that game. Finally, the Rangers at the Mariners. This is actually a really good game out in the AL West. Leiter going for Texas. Gilbert going for Seattle. Give me Seattle and Logan Gilbert in that one. One game in the Pecos League today. Dublin at San Rafael. 6 o'clock Pacific time. For that game, San Rafael with the 1-0 lead in the series, but I think Dublin gets game number 2 and evens this series up, forcing a game 3 tomorrow to decide things. Give me the Leprechauns on the road. Let's go, Dublin. A little Irish magic today. I'm pulling for you. I'm hoping to see Dublin in the championship series this year. That'll do it for the show today. Big thank you to our sponsors, AAA Pawn and Armory, Protect Spring Service, The Shirt Shack, as well as Graph Inc. Big thank you to everybody that helps make this show possible, and thank you for listening, because that's the biggest thing. If you don't listen, then why the hell am I doing this? But you guys have responded great, whether it's on the podcast, downloading the show as a podcast, or watching on Facebook Live, or just listening on Dry River Radio. You guys have been fantastic, and hopefully we continue that. Working on stuff that we're going to add with Dry River Radio here in the coming weeks, as we're going to add some more community involvement as the wind season ends. I'm going to have some free time to be able to do some of the projects that I want to do with this, and so we'll be doing that. Of course, if we'd have had severe weather this year, we haven't, but they're saying that August there's a there's a higher probability of tornadoes and things in August for our area than normal. So could see a pretty active August. And I'll be, of course, covering severe weather right here on Dry River Radio. So lots happening behind the scenes that we're working on, and trying to make this this thing even better than what it already is. Already have the Wind playing out of their minds, and I have them winning this series this weekend. I think they win both Saturday and Sunday, and then we'll wait and see who it is, Pecos or Tucson. But it's going to be a battle, and I hope Garden City's ready, because North Platte's definitely got to be ready. We'll find out starting tomorrow, 6:05 with our pregame show, 6:35 first pitch between the Wind and the North Platte 80s. That'll do it for the show today. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone, and I will talk to you tomorrow. This has been Riding the Pine, presented by AAA Pawn and Armory.